Imagine walking into a bakery. Instantly, you're wrapped in the warm, rich scent of fresh bread, cinnamon, and maybe a hint of coffee from the cafe next door. You take a deep breath, and just like that, you're 8 years old again, visiting your grandmother on a rainy afternoon. Smell is powerful. It's invisible, often unconscious and deeply emotional. It can transport you through time, trigger hunger, or make you recoil in disgust. But despite being one of our oldest senses, older even than sight or hearing, we still don't really understand how it works. Smell begins with chemistry. Tiny molecules are constantly floating around in the air, coming off food, people, plants, animals, and even inanimate objects. These molecules drift into your nose every time you inhale, and they interact with a complex system called the olfactory system. At the top of your nasal cavity lies a small patch of specialized tissue known as the olfactory epithelium. This is where the magic begins. It contains millions of olfactory receptor neurons, each covered in receptors that are sensitive to specific molecular features. When a molecule binds to a receptor, like a key fitting into a lock, it triggers an electrical signal that travels through the olfactory nerve into the olfactory bulb in the brain. From there, the information is processed and sent to other areas of the brain that interpret the signal as a smell. It seems straightforward enough. Molecules bind to receptors, signals go to the brain, and voila, you smell something. But here's the twist. The science of smell turns from simple biology to deep mystery pretty quickly. First of all, we don't really know how to predict what something will smell like just by looking at its molecular structure. This is strange because with vision, we know how different wavelengths of light produce different colors. With hearing, we understand how frequency and amplitude create different sounds, but with smell, it's chaotic. Two molecules with nearly identical shapes can smell completely different. Meanwhile, two very different molecules can smell almost exactly the same. The most widely accepted theory used to be the lock and key model, the idea that the shape of a molecule determines which receptor it activates. But this model doesn't explain all the inconsistencies. That led some scientists to propose an alternative idea, the vibration theory. This one suggests that what matters is not the molecule's shape, but how it vibrates at the quantum level. Yes, quantum. According to this theory, olfactory receptors act almost like tiny spectrometers, detecting the vibrational frequencies of molecules. It's an exciting idea, but controversial. There's still no consensus. The reality is, neither theory fully explains the bizarre, unpredictable world of scent. To make things even more complex, smell perception isn't just about chemistry. It's deeply tied to context, memory, and emotion. By the way, if you like this content, remember to subscribe and like. The olfactory bulb, which processes the raw data from your nose, is directly connected to parts of the brain involved in memory and emotion, the amygdala and hippocampus. That's not the case for sight or sound, which are routed through the thalamus first. This unique connection may be why smell is so emotionally powerful, and why a single whiff of sunscreen can suddenly make you feel like you're back at the beach in 2012. But this emotional connection also introduces subjectivity. The same scent can be pleasant to one person and disgusting to another. Cultural background, past experiences, even genetics can change how a smell is perceived. For example, a compound called isovaleric acid smells like sweaty feet to some people, but to others it smells cheesy or not unpleasant at all. Even when we try to analyze smell scientifically, we hit roadblocks. Unlike color, which can be measured along a spectrum of red to violet, or pitch, which is clearly defined by frequency, smell doesn't fit neatly into any organized system. There's no agreed-upon scent scale. Scientists have tried to categorize smells: sweet, floral, musky, putrid, and so on. But these are often vague and inconsistent. The language of smell is fuzzy, and that makes it incredibly hard to study. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are now being used to try and crack the code of olfaction. If we can feed a model enough data, enough molecules with known structures and known smells, maybe it can begin to predict how new ones will smell. This is sometimes called the olfactory genome approach, but progress is slow. Even our most advanced models struggle to consistently match molecules to odors. It turns out the olfactory system is just messy. It's non-linear, context-dependent, and incredibly complex. So why does this matter? Why should we care that we don't fully understand smell? Because it affects more of our lives than we realize. From food flavoring and fragrance design to disease detection and environmental safety, smell plays a critical role. Some diseases, including Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, affect the sense of smell early on, long before other symptoms appear. Dogs can be trained to smell cancer, diabetes, even COVID-19. If we can build artificial noses, devices that can replicate or surpass biological smell detection, we could revolutionize early diagnostics in public health. And beyond that, understanding smell could help us restore it. Loss of smell, called anosmia, can be devastating. It can lead to depression, loss of appetite, and even danger if someone can't smell smoke, gas, or spoiled food. We learned this acutely during the COVID-19 pandemic, when millions of people experienced temporary or long-term anosmia and realized just how vital this invisible sense truly is. Yet for all our science, all our sensors, and all our data, we're still chasing the secrets of the nose. We're still unsure why roses smell like roses, or why citrus is refreshing, or how we instinctively know when milk has gone bad. Yeah, it's one of the last great frontiers of sensory science. Smell surrounds us, shapes our memories, influences our decisions, yet remains in many ways unknowable. So the next time you pause to take in the scent of rain, or catch a familiar smell on someone's scarf, remember, your brain is doing something extraordinary, something science is still trying to fully understand. Smell may be invisible, but its mystery is right under our noses,